We've all heard the phrase, "There's no stupid questions." What are some examples of stupid questions? A common question while working at Disneyland: what time is the 3 o'clock parade? So common in fact, they sold a t-shirt with the phrase, "If dinosaurs existed, why didn't the Bible mention them?" Gee Karen, I don't fucking know. Why didn't the Bible mention koalas and kangaroos? I am a dental assistant. A patient once asked me if she was supposed to brush her back teeth as well as her front teeth. Her reasoning for not doing so before was because nobody sees your back teeth. In 2010, Congressman Hank Johnson asked an admiral whether sending more Marines to Guam might make the island top-heavy and capsize. https://www.snopes.com/www.fact-check/tipping-point/. Co-worker #1 was talking about missing a sibling who had moved to Australia a few years ago, and she wished she could afford a plane ticket to visit. Co-worker #2 asked why not just drive to Australia on an early morning flight to Vegas. Young lady in the window seat turns to her friend in the middle seat complaining about the sun coming through the window. Is the sun going to be there all day? One time the power went out when I had a friend over and he gets up and goes, "Can we still use the toilet?" I responded with, "It man, when's the last time you had to plug a toilet into an outlet?" True story time. Me and this dude I used to know go over to this gal's house. She's having a party, we hang for a bit and she's like, "Hey, my kids are asleep in the other room, do me a favor and hang for a minute, I gotta run these two people home." I'd known her for some months. Now there's one dude left chilling with me and old buddy. He looks at us and says, after casual basic small talk, "So have you two guys ever killed anyone before?" Me and old buddy look at each other and just go quiet. Like, how the hell do you answer that? Used to work at an adult store. All sales are final. Customers still ask, "Can I return this?" TF no. What essential oils should I use to make sure ghosts don't come into my house, given that I'm a Gemini? My white friend once asked my black friend if she could use some of her foundation. That one sticks with me. I once stopped at Togo's to get a 12-inch to split with my wife. Asked for half without olives because I don't like them. "Do you want half with olives, or half without?" She was blonde, if that counts for anything. As a teacher, I have more than you can believe. A student in history class, 8th grade, 13 to 14 years old, asked the teacher if the film they were watching was filmed in real life or made up. It was a film on the Revolutionary War in America, you know, the one that happened in the late 1700s. My favorite one wasn't so much the question this girl asked during a test, it was the fact that she had written the answers on her hand. The hand she raised to ask a question. There are no stupid questions, but there are a lot of inquisitive idiots. My somewhat bilingual 3-year-old once asked my, "How do you say orange in English?" In English. How did Titanic sink in Atlantic Ocean if icebergs melt before entering / as soon as they enter Atlantic? Titanic sank cause of an iceberg, right? And icebergs are made with fresh water, according to Google and some classes I took, but I'm not purely sure. Atlantic is very salt water. Therefore, icebergs would melt there, right? At Thanksgiving I'm in the motor oils at work, have a guy come up and ask which of these ones do I use to fry a turkey. To which I obviously respond, "None, you want cooking oil that's in grocery," and I tell him the aisle number. To which we replied, "No, I want to know which of these to fry a turkey in." So I go back and forth with the guy several times, to which he ultimately says, "You are no help," and grabs 2 jugs of motor oil and huffs off. I still feel sorry for his dinner guests when they tried to eat that turk. Any question can be a stupid question if the same person asks it multiple times expecting a different answer. If Ben bought a dozen of apple and Tommy a half dozen of oranges, then who ate the banana? When I was in elementary there would be math questions as tricky as this. Which one is older, the mother or the daughter? My co-worker was asked this by her boyfriend. Is this okay, after you've already done the thing and can't undo or stop the process? Maybe more rude than stupid, but I've seen some people do it after things, like eating other people's food or borrowing something. At least pretend you're aware you did it, and are asking more for retroactive understanding vs permission. Past tense exists for a reason and is more honest here. I say this as someone who has actually been guilty of it before during a knee-jerk action, and was too slow to recognize it. Always feels dumb. Hast du gut hergefunden? Did you find your way here? Often asked, when you visit someone as soon as you step through the door. Oh, you grew up in Hong Kong. Do you speak Japanese? This, at student orientation at an Ivy League university, many years ago. Same kid later thought he was being clever, asking my Russian American girlfriend what would have happened if the Russians won World War II. To this day I maintain that you don't need a brain to study finance at top schools. I got to tour a new prison as part of an internship with the Justice Department. We got to go through after all the public tours were done. Before we got started, the corrections officer leading our tour shared the dumbest questions she had gotten from public tours. The one I remember was why our prison boss is all named Warren. I had a high school student ask me in all seriousness if Hulk Hogan and the Hulk were related. Who is the loneliest monk? Tabitha Soren asking Bill Clinton about his favorite jazz musician. When doing a presentation about my disabilities because I was made to, someone asked how I got dressed. Like because I'm legally blind somehow I don't know how to do something so simple, nonsensical. In high school, we had a civics and careers class for a semester. It was split between learning how the government worked, then how employment worked. At the end of the careers section, this one dumb kid Chris looked up and asked what's a resume. I was in 8th grade when I overheard this question asked to another student. Does your heart travel around your body? She asked this because she could feel her pulse in random places, so she thought her heart traveled to those places. Usually the ones where the question was answered moments before but they had to ask again because they weren't listening. Questions that represent logical or linguistic paradoxes. One major example is how did the universe begin? Beginnings, and ends, require a progression of linear time, and therefore a universe, in which to take place. You can't have a beginning of time. At least not the way it's usually understood. Not so much stupid. But definitely a bit silly. Especially to dwell so much on it when we should be thinking about how to ask better questions. My sister once looked at a floaty our aunt was inflating for the pool and went, "Can I sit on that?" Stealing from Dumb and Dumber, when instructor told the class to be sure to wash their hands, someone asked, both of them. Watching a WW2 documentary in HS. In the end, teacher turns on the lights. The girl next to me asks, "But who won? Is water wet?" Fucking no. It makes things wet. Now go back to Weenie Hut Jr. and think about your miserable existence.